Did I just get drafted? To the military? Oh no. I am not made for that. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. Let's make a deal, Perna. This year, 2022, is ripe for day one draft trades, as the Lions, the Chiefs, the Packers, the Saints, the Eagles, the Texans, the Giants, and the Jets all have 2 picks in the first round. That's 8 teams who could take 2 players in the first round, addressing multiple needs, or 8 teams willing to wheel and deal one of those picks to aggressive teams or teams trying to move up or get back into the first round. One team that could be a real wild card in my eyes is the New Orleans Saints, since they gave up a future first rounder and a 2024 second rounder in order to get the Eagles 2 first round picks at 16 and 19 in exchange for their 18th pick this year. Is New Orleans set on using those 2 picks at those 2 spots, or will they package them for the biggest trade in the draft? Today, we conjecture. That's good sports. Hey, if you don't know, I will be streaming during the draft on Thursday, so please come hang out while we shoot the poop for 4 hours. Today's episode is sponsored by Blue Block's Blue Light Glasses, the only blue light blocking glasses I use. Get out of here, blue light, you devil! Everyone thinks the devil is red. Wrong, it's blue. It just makes your eyes red. Now, I told you that I use these glasses to protect my eyes during my hours and hours and hours of computer screen staring, but I also started using them before I went to bed. They say you should turn off your screens an hour before you go to sleep. And do what? Read a book like a square? No, I'm gonna stare at my phone in bed for at least an hour. And with these bad boys on, I don't have to worry about blue light messing with my circadian rhythm. Go to blueblocks.com/thatsgoodsports and use the coupon code thatsgoodsports at checkout to get 20% off. Blue Block ships worldwide and has glasses available in prescription and non-prescription with easy exchanges and returns for your convenience. That's BLUBLOX.com/thatsgoodsports, or just click the link below and make sure to use code thatsgoodsports to get 20% off your order. The 49ers will offload Debo Samuel. With the news breaking that Debo has requested a trade, this could shake up the draft quite a bit. And it seems more realistic than when the week started. In a rich draft for wide receivers, it might make sense for the 49ers to offload Debo Samuel if he's as discontent as we believe he is in exchange for a cost-controlled wide receiver. I could see a team with a hard need at receiver going after Debo and then paying him $25 million a year. What if the 49ers send Debo to the Atlanta Falcons for the 8th overall pick and a 2023 third? Atlanta gets Debo, waits until the 2nd round, and then drafts, say, Sam Howell, and the 49ers draft Debo's replacement in Ohio State's Garrett Wilson, who's been compared favorably to his predecessor. A team that has the cap space to pay Debo and 2 top 15 picks is the Houston Texans. The 49ers could easily send Debo to Houston in exchange for, say, the 13th overall pick. But I see the Jets as the most likely landing spot for Debo. They give the 10th pick for Debo Samuel, get young Zach Wilson a weapon to make Elijah Moore even more dangerous in his sophomore season. New York has the money, the capital, and the connection with head coach Robert Saleh. But why would any team with the top 10 pick and a need at receiver just not take the best receiver in this class, or best top 3? I think a contender would be more set on making a move for Debo. So I'm foreseeing a situation that sends shivers down my spine, and it's Los Angeles Chargers doing the same thing, offering the 17th overall pick and additional compensation for Debo Samuel. Maybe the Chargers just promise they will attempt field goals when they play the 49ers. 17 is still a good spot for San Francisco to draft a mid-first round receiver like Chris Olave or Jameson Williams, who's in a good spot after tearing his ACL in the national championship game. I should note that I really do not want this to happen, so don't get any ideas, Chargers. But given how this offseason has gone for the AFC West, it would make sense for one last big move to happen. The New Orleans Saints trade up for a quarterback. A team that could get a haul in my eyes is the New York Giants. Now they sit at pick number 5, right ahead of Carolina, and at pick number 7, right ahead of Atlanta. Why is that important? Those two teams, outside maybe the Lions at number 2 overall, are the most likely to draft a QB in the top 10. So any team who may be high on a quarterback in this draft class may be willing to trade with the Giants to jump the Panthers and ensure they get their guy. I think that guy is Malik Willis, and I think there are two teams who would trade up to land him. The team with the best ammo outside of the top 10 is the Saints. I think the Steelers would do it, but they don't really have the capital. Everything coming out of New Orleans, though, has been that they're happy with their quarterback situation.
Condoms.
And even though they got an extra pick from the Eagles just a couple weeks ago, they're staying put at number 16 and 19. I don't buy it. So much of pre-draft information is smokescreens. Why would anyone other than dumbass Mike Ditka telegraph what they're going to do and lose their leverage in the draft? I think the Saints will package those two picks plus more and move all the way up to 5 to draft Liberty quarterback Malik Willis. With Jameis Winston on the roster,
Condoms.
There's no need for Willis to start from day one. Basically, when Taysom Hill masters the tight end position is when Willis will be ready to go. The Giants would then pick at 7, 16, and 19. A luxury of first-round picks only John Gruden could fuck up. New York can address huge needs at tackle, edge, and linebacker, landing Charles Cross, Jermaine Johnson, and Devin Lloyd or Nakobe Dean, while one more year is wasted with Daniel Jones. Now, in an even more wild scenario, the Saints sense that the Lions will take Malik Willis at number 2 unless they can increase their draft capital. So the Saints trade picks 16 and 19 with Detroit. The Lions get a chance to stock up to 11 using the 16th pick on a wide receiver like Traylon. Stare into my eyes and tell me they're not beautiful Burks or Drake London. Real Dan Campbell guys, and then snag, say, safety Kyle Hamilton, who's been falling in a lot of mock drafts. If he wants, old Danny Boy can take a real knee biter at quarterback and select North Carolina's Sam Howell at the end of the first. Here's a long shot, but the Broncos move up. Broncos GM George Paton has been amassing big-time draft capital. And even though he spent a lot of that on Russell Wilson, he's got a chance to move up all the way back into the first round. Currently, the Broncos sit at the end of the second, pick 64. This is a team in a win-now mode, a team without a ton of major holes, and I think George Paton wants to be aggressive as hell and get a difference maker from day one. For this to occur, I think Denver needs to see a corner, tackle, or edge rusher fall that they have graded as one of the best players at that position. So the Broncos send their first, 4 picks to the Green Bay Packers, jumping the Chiefs. Denver has some options to seriously improve their roster week 1. They could go ahead and take a tackle, but I think Denver goes edge and grabs, hey, Arnold Ibakite. Ibakite. I will learn your name when you're a Bronco. Someone who has been linked to the Chiefs, possibly. Now, the Broncos have also visited with Auburn cornerback Roger McCreary, who's projected as a late first to mid-second round prospect. Maybe he'll slide to 64, or maybe that's a sign Denver moves up and gets aggressive to take another corner this year. YouTube and Patreon members, should we do the Zoom hangout before the draft or after the draft? Let me know in the comments. Also, shout out to Patreon member Phantasm ASMR, who is in all of the Zoom hangouts He sent me his ASMR draft trade predictions, so make sure you give him a sub. Take it away, Phantasm.
Thank you, Brandon. You can find ASMR on my channel, but since we're here, if the Panthers don't take Kenny Pickett with the 6th overall spot, they're probably going to trade back because they only have 1 pick within the first 130. The Patriots and the Ravens, they always trade back. The Titans only have 5 picks for next year. The Giants have 2 luxury picks they said they're willing to trade out of, and when it comes to trading up, the Packers and the Chiefs are going to be a bidding war to trade it for a top receiver. The Buccaneers have a closing window. Tom Brady, weak interior offensive line. That's a scarce amount of talent for first rounders there. They're going to need to trade up. Same thing goes for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, and you can just add on Jerry Jones as a wild card there. When it comes to the true wild card, though, you can look at the Jets. The Jets have ammunition to trade all the way up to 1 if they want. They could trade back if they need because they are also on a rebuild. But they have picks 4 and 10, so they can definitely get up to 1 if they truly want to. You can hear me ramble more about that on my channel. Thank you, Brandon.
The Eagles. I think they might be planning for the future in this draft. GM, Antsy, Howie Roseman has 2 firsts this year and 2 next year and could easily deal 1 of his 2022 first round picks. I don't think anyone feels that the Eagles are completely sold on Jalen Hurts as the long-term answer at quarterback. But it doesn't make sense for Philly to target a QB in this draft. If they could get 1 more pick in the first round for 2023, that would give them 3 total next year. They have 10 picks for this draft and already have shown a willingness to deal due to that Saints trade. Since they play in the shitty, dirt-poor, bottom-feeding NFC East, it will be really hard for them to not accidentally win too many games next season. Too many wins means they can't draft their QB of the future if it becomes clear Hurts isn't the answer this year. And I like Jalen Hurts. I think he could be the answer. But if Hurts is mediocre, they can still draft a premier quarterback in 2023 by trading their 3 first rounders to move up to spot 1 or 2. Now here's a really interesting scenario. Will the Chiefs and Packers play chicken to replace the gaping holes left by the departures of Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill? I don't think either team is going to pay Debo Samuel or give up capital to acquire him. Both can get quality receivers where they currently pick at the end of the first round. Now, Kansas City has 12 overall picks in this draft, plus 4 in the top 62. KC has back-to-back selections at 29 and 30, but the Packers picked twice before them at 22 and 28. Then you have the Saints, Eagles, Chargers, Steelers, Patriots, Cardinals, Cowboys, and Titans all picking ahead of KC, starting at pick 15. And any of those teams may be looking to upgrade their receiver position. Now, Green Bay's sitting pretty at 22. But they have to know that Kansas City might get aggressive and want to jump all the way up to 11 or even 13 with the Commanders, Vikings, or Texans to take one of the premier receivers in this draft. The Vikings are a team many believe want to trade back so they can attempt to build the defense and their offensive line. Getting both of Kansas City's first rounders makes a lot of sense for the Vikings and the Chiefs. If Kansas City does this, it's not for a wide receiver though, it's to take edge rusher Jermaine Johnson. I know the thought is Kansas City needs to move up to replace Tyreek Hill, but Mahomes is gonna make a lot of receivers look really good. Kansas City has 13 receivers on their roster right now, and keep in mind, receivers are found all over the draft. Adams was a 2nd rounder, Tyreek Hill, 5th, Antonio Brown, 6th, Cooper Kupp, 3rd, Stephon Diggs, 5th, Debo Samuel was a 2nd round pick. So I think the Packers stay put, and I think if the Chiefs make a move, it's for edge, because they know they need to get after opposing QBs in the AFC West to compete. Now here's a scenario that could play out. Say Carolina takes a quarterback at their current pick. The Falcons take a QB, and oh shit, the Seahawks wanted one of those guys as the successor to Russell Wilson. Now they're sitting at 9 and don't need to use a premium pick on any receiver because they do intend to pay DK Metcalf. We know for sure as shit Pete Carroll is not upgrading his offensive line, so instead they trade back. Again, with the Chargers, who see an opportunity to take one of the best tackles in the draft to protect Justin Herbert's right side and steal Charles Cross at 9. I think right tackle is the Chargers' biggest hole right now. And that move maybe net Seattle a first rounder in 2023, which, like my scenario with the Eagles, would give them 3 first rounders to move up to a top spot for a sexy 2023 QB draft class. And those are some major trades I think could happen in this draft. Don't forget, I'll be live streaming during the draft with Will Keys, my writing partner, my podcast co-host. And even though the Broncos ain't picking in the first round, we will be live all of the hours of the draft.